Blackwood Sanitarium. The rusted gate groans, a metallic shriek that rips through the pre-dawn quiet. I pause, the GoPro mounted on my chest rig picking up the sound, along with the rapid thud of my own heart. This isn't a thrill-seeking expedition, it's a systematic investigation. My name is RM, and I specialize in the documented analysis of alleged paranormal phenomena. For years, I've chased whispers and shadows armed with logic, a range of sensors, and an unwavering commitment to empirical data. Blackwood Sanitarium, legend says it never truly closed, just faded. Built in the late 1800s, shut down amidst rumors, scandals, and an unsettlingly high mortality rate. Locals avoid it like the plague, recounting tales of disembodied wails, spectral figures in the shattered windows, and the pervasive cold that never quite leaves its grounds. To me, it's an ideal testbed, a high-activity historical site with minimal modern interference. My car is parked a mile down the winding gravel road. No witnesses, no distractions, just me, the equipment, and whatever lurks within these decaying walls. A chill slices through my heavy jacket, not just from the biting November air. The sanitarium looms ahead, a skeletal silhouette against the bruised purple of the horizon. Its once grand facade is now a gaping maw of broken windows and crumbling brickwork. Trees, warped and gnarled, claw at the remaining sections of roof like starved skeletal hands. There's no light, save for the weak beam of my headlamp tracing the path, revealing tangled briars and the occasional scattered brick. The air here is heavy, thick with the scent of damp earth, decay, and something else. Something indescribably stale, like trapped breath. My boots crunch on shattered glass as I carefully navigate what was once the main entrance. The heavy double doors, iron-banded and scarred, hang askew on rusted hinges, a silent invitation to the void beyond. My breath hitches, a quick, involuntary gasp as my headlamp beam sweeps across a dark, irregular stain on the wall just inside the entrance. It's old, faded, but undeniably the size and shape of a human figure. Not quite blood, not quite mold, but something absorbed deep into the plaster. My thermal camera, clutched in my gloved hand, reads no temperature anomalies, just the ambient chill of the building. My EVP recorder, tucked into a pocket, is already running, its silent hum gathering the building's hidden voices. My rational mind tries to categorize it. Old water damage, perhaps, a trick of the light. But the hackles on my neck, they stand. This is it. I'm in. 4:28 a.m., ground floor, main hall. The main hall is a cavernous space, dust motes dancing in the narrow shafts of early morning light struggling to breach the grime-caked windows high above. My steps echo unnaturally loud, swallowed quickly by the oppressive silence. I speak, my voice intentionally low, almost a whisper, for the benefit of the camera. Entering the main hall. Ambient temperature holding at 4 degrees Celsius. No immediate EMF spikes. My EMF detector, a small black box with a flickering LED display, confirms this, resting peacefully at 0. I pan the camera slowly, taking in the desolation. Overturned furniture, long rotten, lies in piles. Papers, brittle with age, are scattered like falling leaves across the floor. This place tells its own story of abandonment. I move deeper, towards what I estimate to be the administration offices. The floorboards creak underfoot, a symphony of decay that makes me wince with every step, convinced I'm about to fall through. My flashlight beam catches something out of the corner of my eye, a faint, almost transparent shimmer, like heat haze, at the far end of the hall. I freeze, my hand instinctively tightening around my camera. I pivot slowly, directing my beam to the source. Nothing, just the dust. My mind immediately supplies the rational explanation. Optical illusion, reflection from a shard of glass, my own heightened senses playing tricks. This is what I do. I look for the logic first. Suddenly, the EMF detector in my hand begins to chirp loudly. The green LED flickers erratically, then flares to a solid red, indicating a significant electromagnetic field. My heart jumps. "EMF spike," I murmur, my voice now laced with genuine surprise. This isn't a small fluctuation, this is a surge. I sweep the detector back and forth, trying to pinpoint the source. It's coming from everywhere and nowhere. The readings are erratic, jumping from 0 to 50, then to 200 milligauss, then back to 0 in less than a second. It's disorienting, like a phantom pulse. This is highly unusual, I state, trying to maintain my scientific detachment. Such rapid fluctuations without an obvious source are unexpected. My camera's screen flickers once, a momentary ripple of static before correcting itself. I tap it, then check the battery. Full. I attempt to rationalize. Could be residual energy from old wiring, perhaps a strange current running through the building's ancient infrastructure, I suggest, though the rapid nature of the spike challenges this. Most electrical interference is more stable, more predictable. As quickly as it began, the EMF detector falls silent, the LED returning to a placid green. I stand there, the air suddenly thick and still. My breath, which had been coming in short, shallow bursts, slowly steadies. I check the camera again, it seems fine. I convince myself it was a fluke, a glitch in the old equipment. A momentary surge from something benign. But the hair on my arms, they're still standing. And the faint scent of something metallic like old pennies lingers in the air. I make my way to the patient ward on the first floor, the floorboards groaning underfoot, each step a declaration of my presence. My headlamp cuts through the absolute darkness, painting fleeting landscapes of peeling paint and rusted bed frames. These are the remnants of lives lived and lost within these walls. The air here is colder, the damp chill more profound, seeming to seep into my bones. My breath mists visibly in front of me, even with the exertion of climbing the stairs. Up ahead, a doorway opens into what must have been a common room. As I approach, a low, guttural growl seems to emanate from within, a sound that vibrates through the very floorboards beneath my feet. It's deep, almost animalistic, yet distinctly out of place. I stop dead, my heart a frantic drum against my ribs. I've heard sounds in these places before, rats, collapsing structures, even the wind playing tricks. But this is different. It sends an icy tremor down my spine. The growl slowly fades, leaving an unnerving silence. My EMF detector, clipped to my jacket, remains stubbornly silent. No electronic signature for a sound that just filled the air. This immediately rules out any conventional audio feedback. My hand trembles as I slowly raise the thermal camera. I peer into the doorway, my headlamp fixed forward. Nothing, but the thermal camera display suddenly goes wild. Streaks of deep blue and purple, signifying extreme cold, bleed across the screen, forming into a strange humanoid shape in the center of the common room. It's not distinct, more like a swirling vortex of frigid air, indistinct at the edges, yet unmistakably coalescing into a form. The temperature reads drop precipitously, -10, -20, then -30 degrees Celsius in that spot. I can feel the sudden drop in temperature with my bare hands, the air around me now stinging with frost. My breath condenses into thick clouds with every terrified exhale. My God, the temperature drop is extreme, I stammer, my voice thin, reedy. -30 degrees in a localized area. I've never seen anything like it. For a moment, it looks like a face is forming within the swirling cold, two dark spots like hollow eyes staring directly at me. Then the GoPro on my chest rig suddenly cuts out. Black screen. No, I whisper, fumbling with it. I tap the side. Nothing. The thermal camera's display flickers erratically, the cold signature distorting, stretching, then it too goes black. All my recording equipment is dead. My backup flashlight, usually a steadfast beam, now flickers weakly, its light barely illuminating the immediate area before cutting out completely. I'm plunged into almost total darkness, save for the faint ambient glow of the shattered windows filtering in from far down the hall. My mind is reeling. This is beyond explanation. This is impossible. The growl was too real, the cold too profound, the equipment failure too absolute. My scientific detachment is beginning to fray, dissolving under the weight of undeniable phenomena. I stand there shivering, not just from the cold, but from a burgeoning primal fear. My mind races, grasping for any logical straw. A power surge, perhaps, that fried all sensitive electronics? But this building has no power. A freak atmospheric condition, unlikely to cause such localized and equipment-specific failure. I feel a growing sense of dread, a chilling certainty that my presence is not welcomed here. My skin crawls, every hair on my body on end. I just stand there, paralyzed, straining my ears, listening to the absolute, terrifying silence that has descended upon the common room, waiting for that growl to return. This is no longer merely an investigation. I'm experiencing something fundamentally wrong. 5:49 a.m., second floor, operating theater. I move cautiously, feeling my way up to the second floor, my headlamp restored to a weak beam after a frantic battery swap. The common room incident has shaken me to my core. My hands, still trembling, are now covered in a fine sheen of sweat despite the pervasive cold. The air feels heavier here, suffocating. The silence is not peaceful. It is expectant, filled with an unspoken menace. I can hear my own ragged breathing, a desperate, lonely sound in this tomb. My EMF detector remains stubbornly silent, mocked by the events I've just witnessed. I push open a heavy, warped door that bears a rusted sign, Operating Theater. The room within is a tableau of chilling history. A single rusted operating table dominates the center, still strapped with decaying leather restraints. Shadows stretch long and grotesque from the remnants of specialized equipment, ancient surgical tools lying scattered, glinting dully on the dusty floor, still stained and crusted with something dark. The walls are a mosaic of peeling paint and unsettling stains that look far too much like old blood. The stench of antiseptic and something fouler, like metallic decay, assaults my nostrils. If you're still here, you're part of the case now. Subscribe before it's too late. As I step further into the room, my headlamp beam suddenly dims, then pulses erratically like a dying heartbeat. I shake it, tap it, but it continues its erratic dance, throwing the room into disorienting fits of light and shadow. Then, a low, keening moan rises from a corner of the theater, a sound so filled with anguish and despair that it tears through me. It's too distinct to be the wind, too raw to be imagination. It's long, drawn out, and ends in a choked, rattling gasp. The sound is coming from behind a tall, rusted cabinet in the far corner. I back away slowly, hands out, groping for something to steady myself against. The moan lingers, an echo of unbearable suffering. Then the true horror begins. The tools on the operating table begin to move. Not violently, but as if by unseen hands. A scalpel slides slowly across the table, then drops to the floor with a tiny, sharp clink. Then a pair of forceps clatter, followed by a bone saw that scrapes against the metal tabletop. Each sound is deliberately slow, methodical, as if being played by a malevolent orchestra. My eyes are wide, unblinking, fixed on the table. This is beyond temperature drops and dead equipment. This is directed intelligence. My rational mind, my scientific framework, has completely collapsed. My breathing is shallow, ragged, I can feel the panic rising, a cold, suffocating wave. I want to scream, to run, but my feet feel cemented to the floor. The sounds from the corner, the moaning, intensifies, becoming a series of choked whimpers, then a crescendo of horrific wet gasps. The air in the room thickens, pressing in on me, making it hard to breathe. A heavy, palpable sorrow, mixed with something else, something deeply malevolent, fills the space. I'm no longer observing, I am experiencing. Whatever this presence is, it's not simply interacting with the environment, it's attempting to communicate, to recreate something unspeakable. I close my eyes tight for a fraction of a second, willing it to stop, willing myself to wake up. When I open them, a faint, almost translucent figure, shimmering like heat haze, is standing by the operating table. It's tall, indistinct, its features blurred, but I can feel its gaze. It feels like absolute despair given form. A soft, whispering voice, too close for comfort, seems to brush against my ear, a single guttural word that resonates deep in my bones. Stay. 6:17 a.m., second floor, solitary confinement wing. I scramble backwards, away from the operating theater, my heart hammering a frantic rhythm against my ribs. The whisper, the figure, it was real. So terrifyingly real. I hit the wall with a thud, pain barely registering. My headlamp is now a pathetic flicker, barely holding on. I stumble down a narrow, dark corridor I hadn't noticed before, one that seems to lead deeper into the sanitarium's forgotten heart. My rational mind is gone, replaced by pure, instinctual fear. I'm running now, not investigating. The corridor darkens significantly as I progress, the few meager windows sealed or broken beyond repair. My dying headlamp reveals a series of heavy rusted doors lining both sides of the hall. Small barred windows are set into each. Solitary confinement. The air here is dead, heavy, and stale, as if no fresh breath has ever pierced this oppressive space. I reach out a trembling hand, touching one of the cold iron doors. The metal is freezing, radiating an unnatural chill that numbs my fingertips. Then, from behind one of the doors directly opposite me, the sound begins. A frantic, rhythmic scratching. Not soft, not timid. It's loud, desperate, like fingernails being dragged across concrete, insistent and raw. Scratch, scratch, scratch. It escalates rapidly, becoming a frenzied tearing, a desperate plea from within. I press my back against the cold wall, my eyes wide, fixed on the door. The scratching moves, circling the interior of the cell, then concentrates on the small barred window in the door. The sound is utterly horrifying, primal. It's the sound of someone trying to claw their way out, their breath coming in short, gasping whimpers as they scratch, scratch, scratch. Suddenly, the small observation window on the door is engulfed by a dense, inky blackness from within. It's not just shadow, it's an absolute void, a deeper darkness than the room itself. And within that void, two small pinprick eyes, glowing like malevolent embers, snap open. They are not human eyes. They are too small, too bright, too utterly devoid of compassion. They fix on me, burning into me, searing my very soul. They are the eyes of something ancient, something that has known nothing but suffering and rage for a very, very long time. My headlamp finally gives out, plunging me into absolute, suffocating darkness. The scratching inside the cell intensifies, accompanied by a sound like a heavy chain being dragged across the floor. The glowing eyes remain, floating in the absolute dark, unwavering, judging. My breathing turns into frantic, hyperventilating gasps. I can't see anything, but I feel the presence. It's here. It's directly in front of me. The air temperature plummets again, not just cold, but a profound, aching cold that feels like it's emanating from within me, freezing my blood in my veins. My ears are ringing, a high-pitched whine that drowns out everything else. From behind the door, a low guttural growl rumbles, shaking the very structure of the building. And then, a voice. Not a whisper this time, a roar. A horrific, distorted bellow that reverberates through the corridor, each word a hammer blow against my sanity. Get out. You're not supposed to be here. This isn't an echo. This is a direct, violent communication. I turn, blindly flailing, desperate to escape. My foot catches on something and I go down hard, my headlamp and all remaining equipment clattering uselessly on the floor, sliding away into the inky blackness. I'm completely disoriented, lost in the dark, with those burning eyes still fixed on me, and the scratching, screaming thing behind the door growing louder, more frantic, as if it's breaking through. 6:45 a.m., basement, morgue. I don't know how long I was scrambling in the darkness. Minutes? Hours? Time has lost all meaning. My face is wet, either from tears or sweat. I can't tell. I just know I was crawling, fumbling, until I found a heavy, cold metal door. My fingers, numb and clumsy, worried at the handle until it gave way, plunging me into an even deeper, more profound darkness. I'd fallen. My ankle throbs with blinding pain, but I push through it, the adrenaline dulling the sensation. I'm in the basement. I recognize the cold tiled walls by touch alone. A familiar stench, formaldehyde mixed with something sickly sweet, clogs my throat. The morgue. My phone, miraculously, still has a sliver of battery. Its screen a dim, flickering beacon in the complete blackness. I click on the flashlight app, its weak beam illuminating a horrific scene. Steel autopsy tables gleam dully, streaked with old dark stains. A row of rusted pull-out body trays line one wall, like silent sarcophagi awaiting their occupants. The air here is thick, cloying with a sense of immense forgotten suffering. My heart aches in my chest, a physical pain far beyond the pounding in my head or the throbbing in my ankle. My flashlight beam sweeps across the room, catching on something in the corner. A figure. It stands perfectly still, facing the wall, its back to me. It's tall, slender, and seems to shimmer at the edges. It's not the translucent figure from the operating theater. This one is more solid, almost corporeal, yet still somehow wrong. Its posture is stiff, hunched, like something in immense pain or deep contemplation. My breath locks in my chest. I can't look away. I can't move. Suddenly a sound. A soft, wet thump. Then another. And another. Coming from the body trays. One of the trays, the third from the left, begins to slide out slowly, with an agonizingly long, drawn-out squeal of rusted metal. My flashlight beam snaps to it, trembling violently in my hand. The tray pulls out about a foot, revealing nothing but darkness within. The light from my phone flickers, then begins to dim rapidly. The phone itself feels painfully cold in my hand. The figure in the corner of the room begins to twitch. Slowly, agonizingly it turns, its head first, swiveling with a sickening crack of unseen bone. Then its shoulders, too slow, too unnatural. My stomach twists into knots. I don't want to see this. I don't want to know what it is. The phone screen flickers, my only source of light dying. I can hear it now, too. A faint, rhythmic drip, drip, drip coming from behind the partially opened body tray, from inside. And then I see it. Just as the phone screen goes completely dark, its final flickering gasp reveals the figure's face. It's not a face. It's a void, a swirling, inky blackness where features should be. No eyes, no mouth, just a swirling vortex of nothingness, darker than the blackest night, a maw that seems to devour all light, all hope. It raises a hand, not solid, not quite there, yet undeniably reaching for me. And from that void, a chorus of whispering voices, overlapping, indistinct, yet all screaming the same word, a chilling, insistent chant. Join us, join us, join us. The last trace of my sanity shatters. The phone in my hand dies, plunging me into absolute all-consuming darkness. My body is racked with uncontrollable shivers. I gasp, struggling for air, consumed by utter primal terror. I can't escape. Not here. There's nowhere to go. I am alone, surrounded by an unseen legion of the dead. 6:58 a.m. basement morgue. The silence that follows the complete failure of my phone is absolute, physical. It presses in on me, suffocating me, a vacuum where light and sound once existed. I'm lying on the cold concrete floor, my ankle screaming with agony, but the pain is a distant hum compared to the terror that grips me. The voices are gone, the chanting ceased, but the feeling of utter, profound presence has intensified. I know it's still here, all of them, waiting. My fingers brush against something cold and smooth. The lens of my chest-mounted GoPro. It's lifeless. My hands shake uncontrollably as I pull away, my chest heaving. It's over. My investigation, my life, it's all just over. I close my eyes tight, digging my fingernails into my palms, trying to ground myself in reality, any reality, beyond this nightmare. And then I hear it, a single distinct click. The sound of a camera starting up, a different camera. It's not mine. It's too clear, too close. And then, a faint red light blinks into existence, just above me, illuminating an impossibly small section of the ceiling. It's the recording indicator light of a camcorder. Its lens, a single unblinking eye fixed on me. I stare at it, my breath hitched in my throat. It's mounted, impossibly, on what looks like a decayed medical drip stand, aimed directly at my prone form. I hadn't seen it before. It wasn't there when I came in. My fear slowly twists into something else. Confusion. Why is it here? Whose is it? And then, the screen of the camcorder, barely visible in the encroaching dark, flickers into life. On it, I see my own reflection, contorted, terrified. But behind me, a figure, solid, real, standing just out of frame, its hand resting on my shoulder. I gasp, a silent, choked sound. I can feel the phantom weight, the cold pressure. I twist my head, straining against the blinding darkness, trying to see what's behind me. Nothing, absolutely nothing is there. But the camcorder screen, it clearly shows it. A tall, gaunt figure, its face obscured by shadow, standing over me, looking directly into the lens. Its grip tightens on my shoulder. A low guttural chuckle rumbles from all around me. It's not just one, it's many, surrounding me. My eyes dart back to the camcorder screen. The figure leans in, its face still obscured, but its mouth opens into a cavernous, teeth-filled grin. Its eyes, finally visible in the dim light of the screen, are mine. My own eyes, wide with fear, staring back at me from the monstrous void of its face. The chuckles grow louder, dissolving into manic, guttural laughter that echoes around the room, vibrating through my very bones. The screen flickers again and the image changes. It's no longer showing me. It's showing the main entrance to the sanitarium. The sun, a sliver of weak, cold light, is just breaking through the horizon, and standing in the open doorway, staring out at the gravel path that leads to my parked car, is a figure, tall, gaunt, with my jacket, my rig, my GoPro, and my pack. It turns its head just slightly, and even from this distant, grainy shot, I can see the same void where its face should be. It's leaving. And I'm still here. The camcorder screen dies. The red light winks out, and the laughter turns into a single agonizing scream. My own. My voice, raw and broken, rises through the chilling silence of the morgue, echoing off the cold tiles, a testament to the fact that I am still here, and I will always be. For more paranormal investigations, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.